Hello YouTube, it is Chris here, and well, today I want to do a performance review of how each of the blades performed in my ultimate destruction test, which took place just a few days ago. Over the past few days, I've been getting several messages over and over asking, how do they hold up? Can we see what they look like? What are your thoughts? Yada yada. Which one did you like the best? Now, in this video, as I'm sure you can tell by the title, I am going to be covering the 4 Schrade knives that were in my test. First up is the Schrade SCHF37. In the testing, it held up really well. The coating, as far as you can tell where this part is, this is where its deepest penetration into the dryer, which is a good 1.5 inches, which was really solid. But this traction powder coat thing, it doesn't hold up very well. And I've, from a lot of other YouTube videos, they say that the reason why that's on there is because they're shipping them from overseas. They want, since it's high carbon steel, they want to make sure there's no issues as far as the rust, since it is a high carbon steel and it will rust, especially on the salt water. But there is significant dulling on the blade edge right here, and there is a little bit of blade roll. We're gonna zoom in real quick so you guys can see that. But see that, guys? It's not very big. It's a lot of minor hits, but I'm attributing that because of the hollow grind. It's not the strongest for super insane hardcore use as far as longevity of stabbing and chopping and whatnot. Not that it won't do it very well, because the hollow grind will allow it to bite in. But as you can see, right about here is the worst of it, because that's like that sweet spot where it was getting stabbed in, where the blade starts rolling out. But overall, it's still super sharp right in here. And the blade itself, I mean, look at the tip. The tip is still there, it's still fine. There's some abrasion and wear on it. And as you guys can see, the tip itself, minus the coating, held up very well. Next is the Schrade SCHF36. Virtually the same knife, just the smaller brother. This is like a 5 1/4 inch blade. In the same area as before with the stab tests, it did about 1 1.5 inches in. It was pretty impressive for this small little knife. But as you guys can see, it bit in really good because of the hollow grind, and the tip, just as in the 37, held up beautifully. So the geometry of these blades, Schrade did a very good thought out design with the drop point and the stoutness of the blade going through all the way until it starts tapering at the very last inch or so. But the only gripe about it is the strength of the hollow grind, which is fine, but it is a trade-off because when you're actually using it in chopping and batoning tasks, it bites in very deep. And that is something that I did appreciate, and it was both of these knives were very sharp right out of the box. So that little tiny gripe is minimal in comparison to its overall performance for its budget price. Next in the lineup is the Schrade SCHF17. Now, this was one of my favorite blades in the stainless steel category, and the blade itself held up extremely well. It's still very sharp, even out here, because of it's not hollow grind, it's like a saber grind. And the drop point design, the very thick 1/4 inch design, that very strong tip. The only thing that happened to this blade at all, other than the coating coming off, is right here. I'm going to try to zoom in as close as I can on that. Come on, baby. Let's do this. Right there. See that little tiny bent right there? I bent it out. So the tip did bend, but I had to stab through a dryer 3 times to get it to bend. So for the 8CR13 MOV, if you guys had any concerns about its performance and strength and capability, the 8CR13 is an awesome steel option in the budget-friendly category. This was a very hardy knife. There was like literally no blade rolling, no issues. It didn't even really dull the blade at all. And I've used this in another test video, and I have not sharpened it since then. I like to do that if I can get away with it, unless the blade dulls significantly, because I want to see how long I want to see the edge retention, how long it'll last. But the only issue, because it's a softer steel, the tip finally did give way. But that could have been how it went in. I mean, could have been a number of things that caused that to happen. But overall, this knife did amazing. And finally, one of the most famous blades in the Schrade line is the SCHF9. The original extreme survival knife. This blade didn't overly retardedly impress me when I first reviewed it a while back. It was really stout, and when I was chopping with it, it didn't do so awesome, and I was like, it's a pretty good blade, but there was literally no damage. This thing was untainted, unscathed. I was like, holy crap. So, nonetheless, it wasn't my favorite performer back in the day, but it was a very stout blade, and in this series of tests that I did a few days ago, this definitely showcased its grit and merit in the strength category yet again. We're gonna go up to the tip, because that's where most of the hell was unleashed on these blades. Come on. Look at that. Nothing. Not an inch. There's some paint transfer, but the coating is still that titanium nitride coating thing. Still there. There's some scuffs and paint transfers, even though I cleaned it. It's still decently sharp. There's a little bit of, you can see a little shininess right there. A little bit of blade rolling. Small. I mean, I can leather strop that crap right out. But the reason why I wanted to showcase this blade is kind of showing the old school, so to speak, I guess, versus the 2015 line. And both of them did extremely well. I wish they would use this coating more often on their blades. I love this coating a lot more than I like the powder coat, because it still serves the same purpose, but I feel this coating is much more durable and stout, and it's visually more appealing. Back to the whole point of this is the geometry of this knife and the stoutness of this blade design was beautiful. So for the, what I would say, the extreme budget-friendly options in the large blade lineup, Schrade showcased itself very well. But this was the overview of the 4 knives from Schrade that I decided to showcase. Like again, I'm going to recap. This was pretty much the most famous blade they ever had from last year. This was my favorite personal option of their 8CR13, their stainless steel line, for the bigger knives. And these were the 2 brand new puppies right out of the gate for 2015, so I wanted to really showcase these and see how much of an improvement Schrade really did make, and they made some serious improvements. The out of the box sharpness, the durability of these blades, the extremely budget friendly price for these for this year, it was very impressive. However, for anyone who has not seen my production versus custom ultimate knife showdown part 1 and 2, I'm going to put part 1 and 2 down in the description box below. And when you guys watch those videos, I want you to tell me what you thought. I want to know how you feel about the certain knives, whether you liked custom knives or production. Basically, what was your favorites and why? Because it's really important to me to know kind of where you guys are leaning and how you what your thoughts are, because this is the whole point of my reviews, is to give you my thoughts, but then you guys share with me what you think and how you feel about these knives. Not just subscribe to me, hit the like button, share it out every now and then. No, get down in there, have some fun, be very proactive, and that's about it. So I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching this overview, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm out.